I think Shedeur has come on so strong in the last few weeks that it's making them think, maybe we should see what he can do in training camp before we decide that perhaps Deshaun Watson might be QB1 on the depth chart. I think he's just worked so hard and done such a nice job.
The Browns quarterback debate just got ugly again. Mary Kay Cabot has been reporting that Deshaun Watson still has the edge, but Shedeur Sanders is right there pushing him. And now Browns analysts are starting to attack the whole logic behind that conversation. Because if Watson really had the job locked down, this would not still be a debate. If Shedeur was not close, nobody would be arguing this hard. The fact that the media keeps having to explain Watson's lead tells you the lead is not comfortable anymore.
We don't know who's going to the right place, who's going through their progressions quickly enough, who's releasing the ball. There are a lot of things that go into this evaluation, and you might see a great long bomb, but maybe what you didn't see was a defender pulling up on the other end to make sure that that would have been a sack in a game, obviously. So, it's very difficult when they are at this stage in no pads with no real pass rush to determine who would do a better job.
And that is where Mary Kay's own words made the story explode. Nipping at the heels is not nothing. That is not a throwaway phrase. That means Shedeur is close enough to make this uncomfortable. Watson can still be ahead. He can still have the experience. He can still have the contract. But if Shedeur is close enough to be chasing him like that, the Browns have a real decision coming. This is why the analyst pushback hit hard, because the old media line was simple. Watson is the veteran, so Watson should start. But football does not care about old contracts when the younger quarterback keeps closing the gap. This is the part that turns the debate back on itself. Mary Kay reported that Watson started minicamp with the early edge, but Shedeur worked his way back into contention. That is the whole story. Watson did not run away with the job. Shedeur did not disappear. The gap got smaller, and once the gap gets smaller, the pressure shifts. Now Watson has to prove why he should still be the guy. Not because he was supposed to be, not because Cleveland paid him, not because people remember what he used to be. He has to prove it now.
Same with Deshaun's, but he did have that one bad day. It was last Wednesday where he kind of went off the rails. I considered that was a bad practice, especially with that pick. That pick was horrendous. But Deshaun's been on fire. Deshaun, from what it looks like, and we'll figure it out when we watch it all together, has had a good practice today. Shedeur had a good one today as well. He's been looking good. Everything's looking good here.
The tape is where the argument gets real. This is not a podcast debate anymore. This is not just Mary Kay versus another analyst. This is Watson and Shedeur on the field. One quarterback is trying to protect a job that once looked automatic. The other is trying to take a job people said he was not ready for. That is why every rep matters. One clean throw changes the mood. One bad miss gives the other side ammo. One good day becomes a headline. And in Cleveland, quarterback headlines become storms fast.
Take us through it. Quarterback competition, where it stands, where it's headed, just your thoughts.
Yeah, I think without knowing exactly what the coaching staff is looking for, I do think it came pretty close. I think you have to look at this as sort of an ongoing process as opposed to sort of treating it like a horse race where, based on one practice, one guy's ahead, one guy isn't. But I do think it's fair to say that Shedeur Sanders has sort of gained momentum over the course of the OTA sessions. And
this is why Browns analysts are not letting the Watson first narrative slide anymore. The room is too complicated for simple answers. Watson has the veteran resume, but his Cleveland story has been messy. Injuries, missed games, inconsistency, pressure. Shedeur has less NFL experience, but he brings momentum and a cheaper future. Dillon Gabriel is still in the room. Taylon Green is still developing. So when someone says Watson should just be the starter because he is Watson, analysts are going to challenge that. Cleveland cannot afford another quarterback decision based on hope. Watson is still the frontrunner, but Shedeur is the biggest challenger. Both things can be true. That is what makes the debate interesting. The Browns do not have to pretend Shedeur is already QB1, but they also can't pretend Watson has created enough distance to end the discussion. Training camp is going to decide what the media cannot, and if Shedeur keeps pushing, every Watson-friendly take is going to sound more nervous by the week. Todd Monken is the person who can make all the noise irrelevant. He does not need the most expensive quarterback. He does not need the most famous quarterback. He needs the quarterback who runs the offense clean. That means getting the ball out, reading the defense, protecting the football, using the run game, controlling the huddle. If Watson does that better, then he should start. If Shedeur does that better, then the Browns have to be brave enough to say it. That is why the analyst pushback matters. It is forcing people to stop treating Watson's contract like a depth chart. That is the bigger national confirmation. This is not just Cleveland drama anymore. National analysts are looking at this as one of the truest quarterback competitions in the league. That means the Browns cannot hide behind the easy answer. They have to let the field decide. And if the field keeps making Shedeur look closer to Watson, the media has to adjust. That is where Mary Kay's reporting becomes so important. She is not saying Shedeur has already won, but even her reports are showing that Watson's lead is not safe.
ESPN. I think Deshaun's in the lead, but I think Shedeur is there as well. I don't know whether the Browns want you to think that or whether it's a legit competition. I don't understand, and I'm not saying I'm not one of those people where I don't want to see Shedeur or Deshaun. If Deshaun can play, that's great. Take me to the playoffs. But if he's not part of your future, I don't know why the Browns are wasting any time.
And that is the part analysts are really destroying. Not Mary Kay as a person, the idea. The idea that Watson should get the job because the Browns already paid the price. That thinking is how teams stay trapped. The contract is already written. The picks are already gone. The past cannot be fixed by forcing the same answer again. The only thing Cleveland can control now is who gives them the best chance to win. If that is Watson, prove it. If that is Shedeur, accept it. This is why charting matters. It cuts through personality. It cuts through hype. It cuts through contracts. Who is accurate? Who is putting the ball in the right spot? Who is giving receivers a chance after the catch? Who is missing easy throws? Who is late? Who is seeing the field? That is the evidence coaches care about. And if the numbers start leaning towards Shedeur, the media debate gets harder to defend. Because then the argument is not just emotional anymore. It becomes measurable.
Don't know how to live it up. She love me because I made it. They try to write me off. I ripped up that paper. I might be colorblind.
Is it harder to breathe, I heard? You can tell the difference.
I'm a little sick too, so I don't know.
That final image is why Shedeur keeps winning the attention battle. While everyone argues about him, he keeps working. That is the only way to flip a quarterback room. Not with tweets, not with fan wars, not with famous last names. With reps, with timing, with command, with the kind of improvement that forces reporters to change their words. First, he was behind. Then he closed the gap. Then he started nipping at Watson's heels. That is how the story changes. So no, this is not really about one analyst attacking Mary Kay Cabot. It's bigger than that. This is about the Browns media being forced to admit the quarterback battle is not as simple as they wanted. Watson may still be ahead, but Shedeur is too close to ignore. Watson has the contract, but Shedeur has the momentum. Watson has experience, but Shedeur has the chance to reset the future. And that is why the debate keeps heating up. Because if Watson wins clearly, the story calms down. But if Shedeur keeps closing, every old take starts looking shaky. Every Watson is the obvious starter argument starts needing extra explanation. Every Browns analyst gets louder, every Mary Kay report becomes part of the timeline, and every practice rep starts feeling like evidence. The Browns are not just choosing a quarterback. They are choosing whether to keep fighting for the old plan or admit a new one might be forming. That is why this battle is dangerous, because the favorite has more to lose than the challenger. Shedeur can gain ground every day. Watson has to defend ground every day. And if training camp keeps moving in Shedeur's direction, the Browns media will not be able to spin it anymore. They will have to say the quiet part out loud. This is not Watson's job by default. This is a real fight, and Shedeur Sanders is making it impossible for Cleveland to pretend otherwise.